The project of the Cinemobile was born out of compassion. Encountering numerous young girls and women exploited in Cebu City's red light district, we felt that something had to be done. It took a lot of time to make friends with all those victims, but particularly with those who were controlling the business of exploitation. Many years passed before we realized the dimensions of this huge problem at the heart of our city and beyond, in the country and beyond in the whole world. Centers were put up in order to address the needs of the victims. Many different forms of help were extended directly in the field in form of protection of these young women and children, as well as medical services were brought into the scene. Yet all this was not enough. Soon we realized that we need data. So data were gathered in order to find out how huge this problem of human trafficking is in the Philippines, and then in our case particularly in Cebu.
Buabot sa 148 ka mga babae ang na-rescue sa mga otoridad.
Nakakuha sila ng impormasyon nitong Biyernes tungkol sa mga badyaw na sakay ng barko pa Maynila.
The dimensions were just shocking. So we started talking about what we were seeing and experiencing. At the same time we realized that our sharing as those who wanted to help had little impacts. It was only when the first victims were rehabilitated and shared their own stories that people got touched.
Pagsulod na ako sa kuan kay mura mo siya kasa. Pag ingon na nga bar dito, so ang sagara ako makauban kay na 10, 99.
Acquire nina ako ang HIV tungod na rape ko sa akong employer.
Kasi garan ako mga customer kay kanang mga hubog o kanang hubog dyan nga kanang mga tiguan kanang muna kanang kasagaran nila ihatag sa kuwaga.
More and more people got involved in helping all those who were victims. So the prevention work started. We realized we have to educate ourselves before we can really be of any help. And that is the beginning of our seminars and workshops for everybody who can help to prevent human trafficking, one of the greatest evils of our time. The suffering of these young children and women inside the red light districts remained our constant motivation not to give up that fight against human trafficking. The Cinemobile project was born out of that. People felt that we had to prevent trafficking. Preventing trafficking would mean that we go to potential victims, such as here in the back. These are slum communities in Cebu. Many of the first victims I encountered do come from slum communities such as these. Slowly but surely we got more and more data about the trafficking routes. Different places in Mindanao, the Caraga region, Surigao, the islands. At times we encountered trafficking in opposite directions. People coming from Manila recruited for the sex industry in Cebu. The challenges are and were enormous. So at this point in time, the big challenge that has been added is, of course, as everybody knows, this OSEC, online sexual exploitation of children. Before the market was visible, we would have tourists from neighboring Asian countries who would be using the children and women in Cebu. Today, the market, because of the internet, is no longer limited. It is international, it is worldwide. And that is where the big challenges lies. Over the years, hundreds, literally, or even thousands of young women and children have been helped or have been prevented from coming to Cebu, from being recruited. But at the same time, we realize that this is not enough. I personally believe that we have lost the battle because the number of victims is increasing day by day, and that is happening all over the Philippines. It is happening in Cebu. It is happening in our neighborhood. and it is happening worldwide. So the challenge remains to fight human trafficking. At this point in time, I would like to thank all those who have been involved in fighting human trafficking over so many years. Thank you all those who are fighting human trafficking. The names and the institutions will be mentioned during that workshop, the culmination activities of our senior mobile. But as a personal thank you, I really appreciate your generosity and your concern, your compassion for the victims. Let us not surrender in fighting human trafficking, one of the greatest evils of our time.